here are some general rules for adding your script elements in your document, right? So one thing is you want to add your scripts after that you reference your style sheets, okay? That way, the browser's had a chance to parse the styles before it gets to the script in case there are any functions in the script that rely on CSS. You want to reference custom scripts after jQuery core. So like anything that uses jQuery, you want to reference after jQuery is already loaded, right? And typically you'll want to put plugins in between the core file and your own custom files, okay? And usually you will either reference scripts in the head or just before the closing body tag. How many of you typically put your script tags like in the head of the document? All right. Down at the bottom, at the end of the body. Okay. Okay. Some of you don't do it at all. Okay. Okay. We'll look at the difference. We'll talk about the difference. Where can you get jQuery? Well, you can get it from the jQuery homepage, and download it, and just use that local script. Or you can use a CDN, a content delivery network, or distribution network. Google has one, Microsoft has one, and jQuery has one, right? And you can use any of those. This is online, so you can reference that there. So this is what it looks like if you are referencing your scripts near the closing body. If you've ever used the Yahoo, the page slow page, is that what it is? I haven't used it in a while. Why slow? I knew it wasn't page slow. I was conflating a Google page speed with why slow. Anyway, they recommend putting the scripts at the bottom near the, just before the closing body tag. The reason is that if you load your scripts the conventional way, like this, they are blocking elements, which means that the rest of whatever's coming after it can't, the browser won't do anything else until those things are fully loaded. Okay, and so if you have them in the head, there will be some amount of time during which the user will see nothing. It'll see like just a white blank page. If you put them in near the close of the body, at least stuff will be rendering on the page. The user will start seeing stuff on the page even before it gets to this, right? And so it's not like the whole page is going to load faster this way, but the perception will be that it's loading faster because they're going to start seeing stuff sooner, and perception is important. Okay, so here we have using the Google CDN, and we're doing it in the head this time, right? So that's kind of what it looks like. We still have it after the style sheet. Right. Now, here's another option. You could load jQuery in the head and load all your custom stuff at the bottom, right before the body. And that sort of thing would make sense if you're working on a big project and you have server-side guys who are injecting JavaScript like willy-nilly into the document, and you're not sure where they're doing it, but you know that they're using jQuery, right? And it's all kind of dynamic, and it's outputting stuff, and you have no control over it, or you'd be a lot cleaner about things. But this way, you can be assured that jQuery will be available when they start doing that stuff, and you can wait. But you don't, but you're loading as little as possible before the page starts rendering. So that's another option. Okay, document ready. Already mentioned this. What document ready does is it will, this is like an event listener, right? It will execute the code that, it'll execute the function inside that ready function, because it's your argument, when the structure of the document has loaded. Okay, so this is when the DOM has loaded and it's been parsed by the browser. This is, if you have a lot of big images on your page, this may be quite a bit sooner than when the window loads. Okay, because the window on load event happens when everything has finished loading, all the images, all the whatnot, everything, right? Okay, so it doesn't wait for images to load. It's usually better than window on load. So this is how you use it. Ta-da! Okay. So, are there occasions when you would want to use, you would not want to put your code in a document ready function, when you'd want to load things after document ready?
You'd maybe want to go before if you're not interacting with the DOM, and you'd want to go after if you're dealing with images.
Okay, yeah, right. If you're dealing with images and they don't have a width and a height attribute or something like that, and you need to know just how big they are, you're going to want to wait, right? Yeah, good point. Also, browsers do this differently, but you know how like you get like a little loading indicator, or you get like a little spinner on the tab or whatever, like a little thing? Browsers handle this a little bit differently, each of them, but if you have a lot of stuff to load and you know it's not going to be used until everything's loaded, but you have a lot of big heavy scripts, it will be less obvious that they're loading if you wait until after window load, because it's not going to show this. It's not going to, if it's before that, in many browsers, it'll act like it's still loading the page. And so people will be like, should I do something? Shouldn't I? I don't know, because it looks like it's not done yet. But if you can safely wait, again, it might increase people's perception that you have a snappy page. Okay. So yeah, when images need to be loaded first, when you're absolutely sure you won't need to execute the script till everything's finished loading, then you could do like window.bind load. Okay.